So what exactly is inside an MRE? Hey guys, what is going on? I hope everybody has had a fantastic weekend so far. So yesterday I was trying to think of ideas for a video, and this one's going to be a little bit outside of the norm for me. But yesterday I was walking, I was trying to think of like what to do a video topic on, and I'm walking into the grocery store and I hear, "Hey, Officer 401." And I look over and like some kid is like flagging me down, and I go over and I walk over to him and I shake his hand. And he's like, "Man, I just want to let you know, like, I love your videos and you should definitely keep going, keep doing good things." And it was really, it was cool, man. Like, it's cool being recognized out in public. It made me feel really good. So I gave him one of my business cards, and I was like, "Hey, shoot me an email. Maybe we can do some sort of collaboration or something. Maybe I can have you on the show. Maybe as a criminal justice student," which he told me he was, we can do like an interview sort of thing for the channel. So we'll see if that comes down the road. You guys let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. So like I said, today is going to be a little bit different of a video than the usual. During the hurricane, it kind of came to mind, hey, maybe I should do a video on some of the gear that I saved. And actually somebody sent me a message on Facebook, and she was like, "Hey, some of us gear nerds want to see all the gear that you have." So I figured I'd break it down, and the first video I will do on this stuff is MREs. For those of you that have been in the military before, I'm sure you've seen more than your fair share of these. I'm sure you're tired of eating them, but for other people, hopefully you'll learn something from the video. But today I'm going to show you exactly what is inside one of these. They are meals ready to eat. That is what MRE stands for. It's a self-contained field ration of food. MREs replaced what was called the MCI in 1981. And really, MREs are perfect for preppers because they have such a long shelf life, and it's just a complete self-contained package of food. If you're a prepper and you don't have MREs or some variation of a civilian MRE, good idea to get yourself one. And when I say one, I mean like at least a case. They are also super high in calories, so if you are stranded somewhere or you're just hiking, let's say you're hiking like a 20-mile trail or something, these are perfect to replenish a lot of those lost calories. So let's get into it. Let's open one of these up and see exactly what's inside. It looks very strange that I have two studio lights set up in my bedroom. So the MRE I've picked for today, menu number 19, beef patty, jalapeno pepper jack. Let's check out what's inside. I doubt that you guys can see it, but up here in red it just says beef patty jalapeno, and it has a bunch of numbers and manufacturing information. So this is basically just one solid beef patty. Alright guys, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I have mounted the microphone. I was trying to hold it at the same time, and that's just not going to work. So anyway, here's our beef patty. Okay, it says beef patty jalapeno, and like I said, the manufacturing information, inspected, beef patty. The next thing, here, let's take a look inside first. Before I pull everything out, that is what it looks like inside. You've got a whole variation of different things inside, and we're going to take a look at each one of those. So instead of pulling each one out individually, I'm going to actually dump them out here. The first thing that grabs my attention are the Skittles. We've got a packet of the sour Skittles. In this package, we've got wheat snack bread. Over here, we've got a cheese spread with bacon. Tropical fruit punch flavored, just powder. Nut raisin mix. And the thing to remember about MREs, a lot of these are actually name brand products, but they can't use the name brands for whatever reason. Like, instead of just calling them Pop-Tarts, they'll call them something like frosted pastries. And over here we've got our hot beverage bag, and this is where you can mix your powder with the water, and then you just fill it up to these lines. It has directions on it. You seal it up, you can shake it, you can reseal it, and take it with you. And this one is my favorite. This is the MRE heater. So basically, whatever your main course is, you take this, you put it inside the pack. Here, we'll put it behind just for display reasons. And then you fill it up to water, just to the bottom part. And you want to make sure each one of these, I don't know if you guys can see them, there's like little sections, but it heats up and it reacts with the water that you put in there, and it creates heat. Well, when you put this bag inside of it and you close it, so you just kind of prop this up against something and you let it sit for like 10 minutes, and when you pull it out of that bag, it's going to be steaming hot. Perfect if you're stranded out in the cold too. You can also use this as kind of a heater, put it in between like your shirt and your sweater or something like that, and it'll keep you warm. But it does get very hot. You have to be careful because it does get extremely hot. Military grade plastic spoon, also known as a tactical spoon. And last but not least, this is your little bag of goodies. Let's go ahead and open this up. Alright, so we've got chewing gum, non-dairy creamer, sugar, mustard, wet wipes, pack of matches, instant coffee, salt, regular napkins, and ketchup. And I know you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in the earlier versions of MREs, these actually included a cigarette or two. I'm not a big like military fanatic or anything like that, but I believe the original MREs actually used to come with cigarettes. So anyway, that is what is inside of an MRE. So that is it. That is what is inside of an MRE. And now I am actually going to try a couple of these items and kind of give you guys a little bit of an understanding as far as like what they taste like, what to expect. The last time I had an MRE, I remember it was very unsalted, and I like salt on everything. So that's more of a personal preference. So let's dive in. The first thing I'm going to try is the beef patty. All right, so this is the beef patty. Like I said, it is individually wrapped. Very plain, very green, gray. I don't know, I'm colorblind. So let's open this up. The first thing that I notice is it is very gelatinous. There is like I don't know if you guys can see this, and it smells like wet dog food. It's like this opaque looking jelly with like a tan oil and jelly. Looks disgusting, but these are usually the things that taste amazing. Alright, so I am going to squeeze this. That looks pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Got this like piece of fat hanging. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Alright, so I'm going to take a bite straight from this, and we're going to see how it tastes. Now this is something that is supposed to be able to hold for several years at room temperature, so let's see how it tastes. It's really not bad. It's like it tastes almost like a canned meat, but it's really not bad. And I mean, I liked potted meat, like canned meat and stuff, so I'm not too picky when it comes to stuff like this, but it's not all that bad. It definitely needs salt. It needs some salt, and it's very overspiced. Like, you really don't taste a lot of meat. You taste a lot of different spices. I would actually recommend this. This is pretty good. Moving on, the next thing we're going to try is the wheat bread. So it's basically two little pieces of bread. Oh, that's cute. They even shape it like bread. It smells very floury. So on this bread, I am going to put some cheese spread with bacon. It's a very thick viscosity. It's very resistant to push. Your parents ever tell you, don't open that with your teeth? Alright, so I am going to take some of this cheese spread, which it looks like Cheese Whiz. That's probably exactly what it is. So we take this cheese spread, put it on our bread, and that is it. See how it tastes. Based on what I had when I was in the Air Force years ago, they used to have a cheese spread with jalapeno. I'm not sure if they still have that. That was the shit. I loved the cheese spread with jalapeno. I would trade almost everything in my bag for a cheese spread with jalapeno. But this is the cheese spread with bacon. Let's try it out. It kind of tastes like it almost tastes like a bologna, like a smoked bologna sandwich that's been sitting in your lunchbox all day. There's a lot of ingredients that are in some of these items too, by the way. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is just cheese and bacon. That's what it's supposed to be. But look, that whole list there is all ingredients that go into this. It doesn't get more artificial than that. But it's good, so we're gonna eat some more. So we put more on our cracker. Sorry, cracker is not a politically correct term. We prefer to be called saltine Americans. This is actually pretty good. I think I'm going to give the rest of this to my stepdaughters. I think they'll like it. So next up on the list is nut raisin mix. And I'm sure this is just like any other trail mix you can find at the convenience store. Alright, so in here, I automatically, like right off the bat, I see a silica pack. They put a silica pack in there to like keep everything dry and fresh. So I'm assuming that these are going to be pretty fresh. We've got peanuts, almonds, pecans, raisins. So let's try a handful of nuts. Those are very fresh. Those are like, those are even more fresh than the ones you get at the store. Like, these are really good. Solid crunch. The raisins are sweet. There's not a lot of salt on the peanuts, so you really taste the raisins, where normally like they oversalt the nuts and then you have a little bit of the sweetness from the raisins. The raisins, you definitely taste them. These are really good. I just found something really cool. I assumed that this was sauce for the meat. I thought it was sauce for the patty. This is actually cherry cobbler. So I'm going to open up my spoon, open this up, and we're going to try cherry cobbler. I immediately noticed this like deep red jelly looking substance. It definitely smells like cherry cobbler. I would hold this up for you guys to see, but if I tilt it, like, it's all gonna spill out. It's all mostly liquid. There, now you guys see what I'm talking about. That is very deep red. I don't know if you can see it against the background. So let's give the cherry cobbler a try. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not like your mom makes. It's like it has like cherries, and then the same size as those cherries are like little pieces of bread, almost like rounded pellets of bread. I don't know how to explain it. And then it's just all covered in this very sugary strawberry flavored juice. Alright, so the last thing that we're going to try today is the beverage. So the beverage that we have is a tropical punch flavored no fruit juice beverage. And like I said, it's just a powder that's in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add water to the bag. I'm actually going to put a little less than 12 ounces in there just because I like mine a little concentrated. I don't like it watery. So then you take your fruit punch. We are going to close the bag. If I'm not mistaken, I think their fancy word of tropical punch flavored, it's either high C powder or Gatorade powder. Alright, so now we've got our bag mixed up. It tastes like high C. I don't know, it could be Gatorade though. So that is it. That is the contents of an MRE. We did not use the heater bag because that's going to take a long time. I have a million things I've got to do today before work tomorrow. So I'm going to save a little bit of time by leaving out the heater section of it. But like I said, if you just add water to it, give it about 10 minutes and the bag will be piping hot. And you usually take your entree or your cherry cobbler, for instance, put it in the bag, close it at the top. I fold mine over a couple of times just to make sure. Prop it at like a 45-degree angle. So what was really cool about the hurricane situation was I actually brought 3 hot plates of food, and it was like pulled pork sandwiches and potato salad and stuff like that to the soldiers that were working checkpoints with us since our county was closed. So I went out there and I gave them their food. They gave me an entire box of MREs as a token of their appreciation for a hot meal. So yeah, I know MREs are probably exciting to a lot of you. I'm sure a lot of you want to try them. You can buy them on Amazon. They're pretty expensive though. They're like $10 a bag. But it's good to have in an emergency situation. But it kind of goes to show that when these guys eat these MREs all the time, to have a home-cooked meal, you are very appreciative for that. And you don't have to just have MREs in your collection. Like, whenever you're meal prepping or whatever for a natural disaster, or if something happens with the power, another good thing to do is make some beef jerky. That's what I do. I love making beef jerky. So I actually just made a batch. You guys are always giving me shit on Instagram for all the food porn that I put on there. I love to cook, and I love to experiment with different ways to like dry cure meat or salt cure meat, stuff like that. So I actually made a batch of beef jerky at home, completely inside without a food dehydrator. So basically what I did was I took both trays out of the oven, I wrapped them in tin foil, I went to the store and I bought a huge roast, sliced it up into a bunch of different pieces, and then I marinated it. So then I lay my strips out onto the rack in the oven, turn on the oven on bake, and usually I'll turn it down. I didn't even know you could turn it down. I thought it like just started at 350, but I actually turn it down to 170, and I let it sit in there for about 12 to 18 hours. And before I let it sit, sprinkle a little fresh cracked pepper on there, a little sea salt, good to go. Comes out in a huge bag of beef jerky. And if you really want to make this last, you can buy some silica packets that absorb water, and you can also put in some oxygen absorbers, so any growth that might happen in that bag is not about to happen. So it's time to try one of these since they just came out of the oven a little while ago. It's very beefy. I don't like over flavoring my beef jerky, and I like it very dry. I don't like mine to bend and all that, so this should have a pretty good snap. Perfect snap. And like I said, I like that concentrated beefy flavor, so I try not to marinate mine in like teriyaki or soy or something like that that's going to overpower the meat. I just want some like fresh cracked pepper and salt on mine. So let's try a piece. It's very beefy. If you don't like beef, you wouldn't like my jerky. Well, that is it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate you joining me. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know. This one was a little bit more extra effort to make, but totally worth it. I think you guys will enjoy it. If you have any questions, leave me in the comment section below and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll try to get another video out this week. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys very, very soon.